I feel like a penguin. It's such a simple sentence, right? Almost childlike at first glance. But honestly, beneath those 6 simple words lies this deep, intensely vulnerable declaration of alienation. Welcome to this explainer. Today, we aren't looking at some dense textbook, a complex data set, or a peer-reviewed study. Instead, we are looking at something much more intimate, yet universally powerful. Here is the actual physical source of our text today. It's a deeply personal, handwritten note tucked inside an everyday spiral notebook. Just look at the blue ink pressed right into that grid paper. It's raw, it's real, and it was written by someone named Rayo. Today, we're going to do a close reading of this remarkable little document. We'll explore exactly how this single piece of paper manages to capture a deeply human experience that, let's be honest, so many of us can relate to. Okay, let's dive right in. The penguin metaphor. A close reading of Rayo's note. By taking a structured look at this single, poignant page, we're going to uncover some massive, universal themes. Over the next few minutes, we're going to see exactly how Rayo uses a simple animal to express these profound feelings of isolation, resilience, and really the everyday struggle to belong in a world that just doesn't quite understand you. Part 1. The penguin metaphor. Finding the right words. Just to quickly ground ourselves, let's look at the definition of a metaphor. It's a figure of speech in which a word or phrase is applied to an object or action to which it is not literally applicable. Now, obviously, Rayo isn't literally an aquatic bird from Antarctica, but man, this is such a brilliant literary device. Think about it. By choosing a penguin, a creature that is uniquely out of place on dry land, completely unable to fly like the other birds around it, Rayo gives this tangible shape to the invisible weight of imposter syndrome and alienation. It's a deeply complex human experience translated into a wonderfully accessible image. Look at how the note actually begins. She is in a space where she don't feel safe favorable. It's exhausting of her to live in trap. Notice the specific word choices here. Exhausting, trap. This immediately establishes the penguin's emotional reality. We're not just talking about feeling a little awkward or, out of place at a party. This is about a profound lack of safety. The environment itself is literally draining her energy day by day, just trying to exist within it. Part 2. A hostile environment, traps, and hunters. So now we're transitioning from just a general feeling of unease to vivid, highly descriptive language of external threats. The world isn't just uncomfortable for this penguin, it is actively hostile. Rayo writes she can't fly, so the other animal is attacking her. She is trapped by the hunter. The vocabulary of predation and vulnerability here is just really striking. Because she lacks the expected abilities of the animals around her, namely the ability to fly, she's targeted. She is literally trapped by the hunter. It's an incredibly powerful way to describe a surrounding environment, whether that's a workplace, a school, or just society in general, that feels predatory to anyone who operates differently from the perceived norm. So what's the natural human reaction to that kind of sustained hostility? Well, it's a desperate need for connection. This cleanly outlines what the penguin is truly longing for when, as Razio writes, she is crying at night alone. She wants family, friends, love, and crucially, people like her. This cuts right to the absolute core of the human condition. It highlights that deeply universal desire to belong, to find your flock, your community, where you don't constantly have to explain or defend your own existence. Now, what's really, really interesting here is this specific heartbreaking detail. The other groups of endangered species are not willing to help her. This brilliantly illustrates a profound level of alienation. I mean, you might logically think that marginalized or struggling groups, other endangered species, would naturally band together in solidarity, right? But Rayo points out the painful reality that sometimes, even within spaces of shared struggle, you can still be completely shut out, overlooked, and left to fend for yourself. Part 3. Skill versus appearance. Unfair judgments. Let's transition into what might honestly be the most frustrating part of the author's experience, the sheer injustice of being judged superficially. Just look at the stark contrast between the penguin's reality and the superficial judgments of others. Rayo notes she is slowly navigating in a cage, but she actually has high skills on fishing, swimming. She is highly competent and incredibly capable in her own domain. But how is she evaluated by the hostile world? Entirely by her appearance. As the very first line of the note says, she's a cute penguin, but later Rayo notes she don't matches the profile. Her actual hard-earned skills are completely ignored in favor of quick, really superficial judgments. And this brilliant line emphasizes the author's fierce declaration of internal strength. She don't matches the profile, but she is not
weak. Think about how empowering that word but is right there. Despite facing continuous rejection, despite constantly being told she doesn't fit the expected mold or match the profile, Ryo knows her own worth. She flat out refuses to internalize the weakness that others are projecting onto her.
Part 4. Planning to escape. Resilience and hope. Okay, so we've seen the vulnerability, we've seen the hostility, but this section is all about the enduring will to survive and break free from this metaphorical cage. The absolute crucial point here is this powerful turning point in the text. She is still afraid, but still she is planning to escape. I absolutely love this line because it is just so raw and honest. Courage isn't the magical absence of fear, It's taking action right in the face of it. Here we see very real, lingering fear existing right alongside actionable defiance. She hasn't given up, she is actively plotting her next move. And the note concludes with this absolute triumph of a sentence. She is a penguin and she deserved to be safe and health life. It is a profound reclaiming of self-worth. It's a beautifully simple, non-negotiable demand for basic human dignity. She doesn't need to change who she is. She certainly doesn't need to learn how to fly. The world simply needs to allow her the safety and health she inherently deserves just for existing exactly as she is.
But wait, there is one last detail in this note that we absolutely have to look at. Focus your attention on the fascinating sign-off right at the very bottom corner of the notebook page. Ryo, 30 May 2026, 12:06.
So what exactly is the significance of this timestamp 30 May 2026 at exactly 12:06? This is genuinely intriguing, and it completely changes how we read the text. Assuming this note was written prior to 2026, why future date it so specifically, right down to the actual minute? Is it a powerful manifestation of the exact day and time she finally executes her escape plan? Is it a piece of speculative fiction where she vividly imagines a future, liberated version of herself? Or is it simply a hopeful look forward in time, a written promise to her future self that things will eventually get better? Honestly, it adds this wonderful, mysterious layer of hope to the entire document.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. Ryo's note acts as a mirror for us. If we sometimes feel like penguins in our own cages, underestimated, misunderstood, or trapped in environments that demand we fly when we were perfectly built to swim, how do we finally plan our escape? How do we hold on to our own immense worth when the world only sees our appearance? I really want you to take this brilliant metaphor and apply it to your own life today. Think about it. Who is the penguin in your story, and what steps are you taking right now to help them break free? Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer. I hope this sparked some curiosity, and I will catch you next time.